Good morning, everyone. And it's early. Well, not really early for me. 9:03. And I'm calling you up. I just dropped off Monster at my friend that does grooming. Monster is a mess. And, 2 weeks ago, I gave her a bath, and then last week I had this waterless shampoo for dogs. It's Burt's Bees, which is supposed to be a very good brand. Let's see, waterless shampoo. I have the bottle here. I showed my friend, but I don't want to take my eyes off the road to look for it to show you. But it's Burt's Bees waterless dog shampoo with apple and honey. And I put it on Monster last week and rubbed, and I think she's had a reaction to it on her back. Now, ironically, I know somebody that for years was using Burt's Bees lip balm. They'd buy it at Sprouts. And then they started to have an allergic reaction to it. So I don't know if Burt's Bees has changed their formula or what. Well, I'm calling you up because where's my water? I'm on my way to Plano to the pulmonologist. Which is just a perfect day and perfect time in my life for this appointment, because this is my 6-month follow-up for the asthma. But since February I've been sick. There was pneumonia, and then a couple weeks ago upper respiratory, allergies, asthma, and I'm still having some trouble. I went a few days feeling much better, but yesterday and this morning I'm struggling. So this is, perfect timing to see the pulmonologist. And Lord willing, we'll get there safely and back to Wiley safely. Now, I looked at the receipt from AutoZone for the name of that part. I did a short video yesterday when my car broke down. Then last night I did a recap, and I could not think of the name of the part. All I could think of was what my friend called it. He called it a Y part, but it's called the now what's it called? Radiator neck, something neck. Any of you that know about cars or mechanics will know what I mean. It hooks on or screws into the hose that goes into your radiator. So it's like a neck. It's like this. And thank you, Jesus, this morning, no red light flashing at me, like the thermostat light. And the car is actually quieter, so I'm really, really trusting God that was the problem. I'll tell you what, yesterday was a warm day, and there was that car trouble. Imagine when the summer comes and it's 101, 108, I probably would just be able to take a few feet in this car and it will shut off. This car has an automatic safety overheating sensor shut off thing, which is good because you can just break your engine, I guess. If it gets too hot, you could surely bust your radiator and head gaskets. If you don't know, because I don't have a gauge, it just has that red thermostat thing. So in a way, I'm glad that when it was getting too hot that the car just shut off on its own. I mean, it's like a protection. However, it's not very convenient when it happens at intersections and you put your four-way flashers on, and it appears people don't know about four-way flashes, or they don't look for them, or they're distracted doing something else. All I could think of was, getting rear-ended. I didn't get out. When I called my pastor's wife to help me pray about, I said, let's pray that this car will just turn over and I can get pulled into a parking lot till Ronnie comes. She had said, well, you probably should step out of the car. But I didn't want to, because I wanted to, every few minutes, try starting the car. I knew, when the engine gets cool enough, it'll turn over, which it did. So, now that's the place I usually go for inspections, which is, another thing I gotta look into, because there's all kinds of misinformation now here in Texas about that. Excuse me. My inspection was due in March. But you do what you can do. I mean, they said you have 30 or 60 days. I need to get this. This is lip balm that I use all year long, and it has camphor in it, which really helps me. And I use it all year because in the summer, that hot sun and hot weather, I just passed a place that has a huge pile outside of skids with a big sign for free. And if I was healthy and strong and knew how to bang a nail straight, and if I had a truck, I would be picking those up and be making me a fresh egg stand. I'm so wanting just a little fresh egg stand, but I cannot build nothing. It's just another dream. Now I need to get in another lane. Oh, look where I am. I'm coming up to the intersection that my car shut off at. Well, let's see. What can I catch you up on? It's been one thing after another. I can tell you about the insulins. One of the insulin that the doctor reordered, the manufacturer doesn't make anymore, is what Kroger texted me one day. Then another day when I went to pick up the other two, and I'll explain to you why the doctor sent in 3. When I went to pick up the other 2, the lady, I showed her on my phone that text. I said, is it true the manufacturer stopped making this particular one? And she said, well, we have it noted here in the pharmacy that it's out of stock, not that the manufacturer quit making it. I told her, well, if that isn't confusing, some people would not ask. They would just go by whatever the pharmacy texted you. So the reason why the doctor sent 3 is because she wanted me to do the Tresiba and another one, which I was doing, before February when I ran out. Now, last fall, the Mounjaro was not covered under just my Medicaid and Medicare. I'd have to pay $400 and something to get the Mounjaro. So I've just stayed on the Tresiba and the other one. But then in February, ran out of everything. Couldn't get no refills because the insurance wants the lab work. And I had pneumonia the same week that I had my follow-up appointment with the endocrinologist. So I had to wait till April 1st to have my appointment and my lab work. Got that all done. She sent the authorization over. And then she said, let's just try to order Mounjaro, because with Medicaid and Medicare, things change in the blink of an eye. She said, it costs nothing to try. Let's try. And I agreed. So, Medicaid and Medicare are only giving me 30-day supply of Mounjaro, and then it will not be covered. There's something, I'm going to appeal it though. I brought the paperwork, the letter of denial with me to read if I have to wait to see the pulmonologist. I'm going to appeal it because it said something about if you can prove blah, 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 blah. And so I'll probably have to have the endocrinologist write something, which she will, because she really wants me on that. It's much easier to take one insulin than two at two different times, at least for me. And so I also got the Tresiba, but like I said, the other one, first I was told the manufacturer is not making. Now Kroger said it's out of stock and they will keep my order there for when it comes. So that has been a rat race. Still waiting on other diabetic supplies to check the blood sugar. Now I have the sensor that you put up in your arm, but I misplaced the little meter thing. See, my phone at the time didn't have enough storage to sync it to the phone. So I have the meter that when that sensor my blood sugar would get too high or too low, it would send to that meter, which is good, but unless you have the meter in your pocket all the time, you're not knowing. Well, I misplaced the meter and I called the company and they only send you out another one every 5 years, and if you want a new one, it's $80. I said, no, I'm not paying. I will just keep looking. When that water tank busted in my trailer, I had to just quickly move things, and that's one of the things that got moved, and I have not found it yet. But God knows where it is. God knows I need it, and I'm asking the Lord to just make it surface. Lead me to it, Jesus, because I need it. I'm doing my part, looking for it. So that is the rat race with all the diabetes stuff. And then, of course, I don't want to take an insulin unless I know what my blood sugar is. So, needless to say, now I have the insulin, but I haven't been able to take it because I don't know what my blood sugar is. Oh, happy day. I have this appointment this morning, and I think I have to come all the way back down here in 2 days to another doctor. When I think of how much money I spend on gas, just back and forth to the doctor, 22 miles one way. This is like going to a job. Going to a job you're not getting paid for. It's like paying to go to a job. Oh, last night after I called you up, it was not too long after that I made myself a nice omelet. I got a shower. Not of the chicken yard, picking up grass and weeds. I know someone that's so sensitive to allergies should not be doing that, but it's from my chickens, and I was doing it, and coughing and sneezing. And this car drove, onto the land, and it just stopped. Well, I thought, I wonder if they have some car trouble. I'm not a mechanic, but I sure can pray for them if they're having some car trouble. And the person, I couldn't tell if it was a lady or a man, was honking their horn. Excuse me. And so I walked over, and then they got out, and it was an older lady, really nice lady. And first let me tell you about this water. It's called Performance X, kiwi and strawberry, 0 sugar, 0 fat, 0 calories, with vitamins and antioxidants, electrolyte, sport water beverage. Isn't that nice? I needed something different from lemon, and I didn't want just plain water, so I opened this yesterday. I've been drinking it, look, almost 2 days. And the lady says, she said, I have my fresh egg sign out by the road, barely hanging on to a pole. I can't find my hammer. It's in the lean-to, and I'm not going in there digging and moving things. So I banged in that nail hopelessly with a brick. And hey, I guess 4 days now it has stayed up there. So she says, I saw your fresh egg sign. And then on the fence, she said, I saw a beware of dog sign and no trespassing sign. So she said, I didn't want to get out of my car and be attacked by a bunch of pit bulls. And I'm not going to say if we have pit bulls or any other kind of big dogs on the land or not. There may be, there may not be. Not going to say. So she says, I have a neighbor who is looking for brown eggs, fresh brown eggs. Do you have any? I told her, I have fresh brown eggs, like a peach tan color egg, lots of white eggs from my leghorns, and some pastel blue and pastel green eggs. I'm not sure if I have a dozen of just fresh brown eggs. And she says, well, I will let him know where to come by. And I said, well, give him my number and have him text, because if I'm out, I wouldn't want him to drive all the way out here. And I don't have an egg stand to leave any eggs out. So we were talking, and she actually volunteers at one of the local food pantries. And I told her that when I've had a really, really major need, I have gone to the local food pantries, and I'm so thankful for them. I said, I've never seen you. And she says, well, she works in the back, filling boxes and stuff. I said, hey, behind the scenes work is so important, because it keeps, things up front that everyone sees. Working behind the scenes keeps all that stuff going. So behind the scene workers are very important, and I appreciate them and her. And we were talking about, she was talking about how the particular food pantry she volunteers at often gets donations of like lamps or tables, dishes. It's not always from people that are maybe moving or just don't want it. Sometimes a store, for whatever reason, maybe the store gets a tax write-off, if they donate. Anyway, she says, but before they could be served any kind of papers, left all kinds of stuff behind. This was about 13 years ago, and left this full-size bed, just the frame and the 2 mattresses. And at that time, I was sleeping on my bedroom floor with a sleeping bag, really hurting my spinal cord condition. And my landlord's mom went over to her brother's rent house to check out this box spring and the mattress, that it had no stains, no tears, and it was in good shape. And she sprayed it down with Oust. Went back the next day, and one of her grandsons flipped it, all the 2 mattresses, and she sprayed it down again. And she took the bedding and had it laundered, and then had it like 3 days after, had one of her other grandsons in his pickup truck bring it to me and set it up. So it has been good, but it's really, the springs are popping up on both sides of the mattress. I do have an egg foam mattress on top of the mattress, but even that is getting flat. And plus, I really do not need a full-size bed. At the time, I needed anything to get up off the floor. But for space sake, a twin bed really is all I need in that small trailer bedroom. This is so hard to change the bed. You know, when I strip it down, it's just too hard for me. And so I told this sweet lady, I've been praying and looking for a twin-size bed and frame. It doesn't have to have a headboard. When I've seen them, I told her, when I've seen them on Facebook Marketplace, they're really overpriced for something used, and it will say my son used it or my kid used it, and there's some stains, and it'll be like $150. Other times I've seen them that look really nice, $50, but then by the time I track someone down with a truck, it's gone. So I said, I've been asking the Lord to save me one for, I guess, about the last 2 or 3 years. And I'm just wondering if these places you're mentioning and these connections you have, if they ever get them in. Would you believe this? I believe it, because, you know, this is how God works. She says that the church that her and her husband belong to have a network that started years back when that Hurricane Katrina hit the South, and lots of people from Louisiana fled to Texas, specifically our area, and they had nothing. And so her church started this, if people had a bed or mattresses that were in good condition, you know, so they helped all those people, and then they were helping some others through the years, and so they've just kept it up. And she says there is a waiting list, but she's going to talk to connections at her church, and she gave me the information to go online to get my name on the list and stuff. And so possibly in the near future I will have a good twin bed. She even says, do you prefer a firm mattress or a soft mattress? I said, oh, a firm would be just wonderful for the spinal condition I have. And she wrote that down. She said, well, how about, hey, if you get a twin bed, you're going to need sheets. I said, now, I don't want to, you know, take all that away from people. I can be looking for sheets at a garage sale or at a thrift store. She said, I'm going to write it down, because sometimes even the food pantry gets sets of sheets in. And she said, I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to even let people at the food pantry know if they come across a set of twin sheets to set them aside for her, for me. So I told her, I said, well, I just believe that God sent you over here, asked asking about eggs, so I could bless you with eggs and you could bless me with this information. And I says, I can go inside now and see if I don't have a dozen brown eggs when I look through all the eggs that I've collected. And she says, no. She said, if you just have a dozen already put together, if it's mixed colors or whatever, she said, I'll buy that from you. I said, I would love to just give you a dozen, and I'll make sure there's some brown eggs in it so you can give to your neighbor to see how he likes them. But I don't mind giving you a dozen. She says, and I don't mind paying you $5 a dozen. That is very reasonable, and I want to pay you. Well, I wasn't going to go back and forth with her about it, so I did let her buy for me that dozen eggs. But we were outside almost an hour just chatting about different things, and she's a very friendly lady. And she said to me, I'm so glad I saw your sign and that I stopped by and got to meet you and talk with you. Wasn't that nice? Oh, now see, last minute, they got the right lane closed sign up here. If someone was not paying attention, looking down at their phone or wherever, they would have drove through the side, drove through these cones, and they could have hit one of these road workers. I don't know why they don't put up some kind of, I wonder if it isn't a law where they have to put up a sign so many feet ahead of the work site. You'd think it would be a law to protect the people working in the street. God, protect those road workers and help people driving to pay attention. When I leave this appointment, I'll have to get some gas. Oh, a few days ago, I'm behind on making you some videos. You must be so tired of me calling you up and just yakking. A few days ago, I took out one of my plastic storage tubs that have baby blankets in it because this lady from another channel that's not in the crochet community was interested in seeing my baby blankets. So I said, I will get them out and take pictures and email them to you. She mentioned buying, but when she sees them, she probably won't. I've only been crocheting over 40 years. I'm not a master crocheter, and you never know what people are looking for. I followed the pattern, and I believe it was a Creative Grandma pattern from a few years back. And I have, after I made it, I laundered it, and it's been kept in a bag and in a tote, so it's free from Monster and Sadie fur. This person also has a little dog, a little Yorkie. But to me, the blanket is beautiful, but you never know what other people are looking for. And then, she can only see it through pictures. She's not local to see it. I don't know if she'll want it. She mentioned wanting to see them. So I did take them out, and I did get a picture of that one. But I think I have 2 or 3 more. And I thought, I don't know if I've ever showed these on my channel. When I first started my channel, I was taking out all my blankets and laying them out on my bed or laying them out at a table at church and taking pictures and making little videos and showing you those. And I would get so many views and comments, which I love comments. And I don't remember showing you these. So I want to do that. I want to show you a video besides me just rambling on the way to a doctor's appointment. That seems like what it's been, but it's been doctor after doctor after doctor. Thank God for the doctors. days ago, I was trimming some more of those squares that Laura sent me, but then I put them away again because of the coughing. I don't like to be doing crochet when I'm coughing or sneezing. I'm not coughing up anything anymore. All that crud that was up in my chest is gone, or just about. In fact, Sunday I taught my class, my Sunday school class, and I didn't have a coughing fit. I didn't lose my voice. I asked those kids, you pray for me that I don't have a coughing fit and I don't lose my voice, that God would help me to teach you. And I did ask them to pray. Hey, I believe strongly in the prayers of kids. I do, because they will believe God and trust Him for anything. I mentioned to you before, a few years back, I could not find my trailer key or my car key, both on the same keychain. And it was a church day, a Sunday. And you know, Sundays we have church in the morning, and then we have the evening service. And I had to call someone from church for a ride because I couldn't find my church keys, and I couldn't keep wasting, my church keys, my car keys or my trailer key, and I couldn't waste time finding it. So they picked me up and brought me to church in the morning. I remember I taught Sunday school that day, and I asked those kids to pray. And I got home and I searched for the keys and couldn't find them. Then came the evening and I had to ask someone again to come get me, and they did. And it was a family whose 2 kids at the time I taught in Sunday school. We went to church, and on the way home they stopped at a Wendy's to get food to eat on their way home because they live in Plano. And I didn't get any of that food. And they said if I wanted anything, I said no. And right when we got in my driveway, I asked those 2 kids, would you please pray that Jesus would help me find those keys? Please, I have confidence in your prayers, and I know that you're not beeping at me, and I know that your prayers will really help in this situation. And we prayed in their truck. I heard those 2 kids that I taught in Sunday school praying, calling on God that I'd be able to find my keys. So that whole day, anytime that I was out at church, my door was not locked. I couldn't lock my trailer door. And so I got out of the truck, and I got in the trailer. I put my Bible down, and I just happened to glance somewhere. There were the keys. Boy, I felt like going outside and shouting and dancing all over that driveway. And they had already left, but I called them really quick. And I said, God heard your prayer. God help me to see right where those keys are as soon as I came in here and put my Bible down. And those kids saying, thank you, Jesus, hallelujah. I heard them in the background. And so, hey, you know what? Asking those kids to pray and God answering so speedily, that increased the faith of those kids. And you know, it increased the faith of me and even those kids' parents. So yes, I believe in the prayers of kids. And when I got something, like Sunday, teaching Sunday school and fighting these allergies, I called on those kids in my class. You pray, God, don't let me have a coughing fit, and helps me get through this teaching. And they prayed, and God helped me again. Who would not want to pray? Who would not want to know that they can call on God, that He hears and that He answers? Anytime I call you up when I'm in the car driving here or there, I got my mind on God. I'm praying for protection around me. I'm praying, don't let no one run a red light. Don't let no one run a stop sign. You got to be in tune with God, because those things will happen, and they will total your car, and someone running any kind of traffic signal fast enough will take you out of this world. And you better know that you've been talking to God along the way. God, Bible says God is not afar off. He's just not something up on the shelf or far out of our reach. Hey, we can touch him when we call on his name, when we know his word, which is him. We can touch him and have that assurance that, oh, God's hand is on me today. No matter what happens, Lord, you're in control. Help this person in front of me find a parking place so I can find one. Oh, there's a line here. We used to sing an old chorus in church. You might know it, or you may have heard it. Let me think of it. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line now. Oh, and we'd get those tambourines banging. It makes you feel happy, don't it? Thinking about how we can call on the Lord. I'll tell you, parking garages are very dangerous and dark. They have signs. Put on your headlights, and there's a parking space right at the end corner that I would prefer not to take, because people rounding that corner. There's one. It's so dark in this parking garage, I can't find that bottle of water. Here it is. Yep. This bottle has one of those lids where you can, but they make it almost impossible to figure out how to open it up that way. I couldn't do it with my bad hand, so I just unscrewed it. Okie dokie. And I'm gonna need my wallet for ID. See where that went to. Oh, I can show you. This is what I used on Monster last week, but she broke out. So, I don't know if I want to try it on Sadie. I don't know. And I don't know if I want to offer it to friends that have a dog. Wallet. Oh. Wait a minute. It's pretty dark in here. There it is. Got that $5 the lady gave me for those eggs. That's good. Let's see if I should. I don't think I'm going to take this in to read because I don't know what the pulmonologist. Let me think. I think if she was going to send me for any kind of breathing tests, I don't think that would be done today. I think she has to. I will take it to read because it's important I see how to appeal that for the Manjaro. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Okay. Okay, everyone. I'm gonna let you go because I need to blow my nose. And I guess I'll talk to you later. Okay? Remember to be kind to everybody because somebody is having a bad day. How profound when you think of that. I heard that years and years ago. What? Oh boy. Excuse his cussing. He's arguing with the guy behind him. They both want to back out. And they're both, if they do, they'll hit each other. This one next to me that just cursed told the other one, you better stay there and let me back out first, and then you go. And the guy, I heard him say, I will. I'm not getting out till this one that was next to me that has road rage and wasn't even driving yet is gone, because the way he was backing out, I didn't want him to clip me. Oh, Lord. See, there's a floor there. And there was a... Oh! Did you hear that? Someone hit someone, but I didn't see it. I only heard it. Now someone just pulled into that space. I don't know what that bang was. No one is... I don't know what's going on in this parking garage. I just want to get to my appointment. It could have been... I don't have potholes in here. Don't know what that bang was. Don't know if you heard it. All right, I better go while it's safe to get out of here. A lot of traffic. You know what? I almost forgot the phone. All right, I'll talk to you later.